Hey guys, so many of you have expressed how difficult this design has been to cut, and so I thought I would do a more advanced jigsaw tutorial on how to cut something this intricate out. And we're also going to talk about how if you're wanting to do a design that's this intricate but you don't want to do all the intricate cutting, there is a little hacks that you can use. I've got chickens pecking at my feet. So we're going to do this, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Ready? Okay, so go ahead and print out your template, tape it together, and then you're going to put your graphite paper down, shiny side down, matte side up, put your template on top of it. My graphite paper is just a wee bit smaller than my template, but we're going to go ahead and go with it, and I will just figure it out as we go. So you're just going to take a ballpoint pen, and you're going to trace everything on the design. So let's see, we'll just start up here at the top, and I'm just going to trace everything to start with. Get everything on the wood so that when you lift up the paper, you can see the entire design behind it. Now this might take a couple of minutes, so I'll probably speed this up. Okay, as you can see, we have already gotten our design transferred to the wood with the graphite paper. Area where my graphite paper didn't cover, I just connected that with an ink pen myself. And so this is a very intricate, very detailed design. So we're going to talk about some ways that you could improve how you do it. So number one, if you wanted to do a really intricate design like this and you did not want to cut out these areas here, you didn't want to figure out, how to work around all of these little leaves and things, what I would recommend is getting a piece of chalk. And I forgot to bring one out here, so just a moment. Okay, now that I've got a piece of chalk, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna create sort of a border around the entire design with my chalk. And I'm just trying to keep it somewhat evenly spaced around the top edge of this wagon wheel. Even though the top edge of the wagon wheel is easy to cut, we're just gonna go around it, and we're gonna create like a border around the entire design. Imagine if this was like a sticker. You know how stickers have those white borders around everything? That is essentially what we're doing. We're creating a sticker border around everything. And so we're just trying to minimize how many angles are going to have to be cut and how intricate they are. And this chicken is determined to peck my toes while I do this. Now I got too close to the bottom of the edge of the wood on that part, so I'm just going to go ahead and work with it anyway. And that part of the sticker just won't be as close. Will you hush? You're upstaging me here. I'm trying to make a video. So I'm not going to go in between all these little bitty leaves. I'm just going to go around them. So see there? We drew a sticker edge around the entire thing. So now you can take and you can cut around the entire thing with a jigsaw. So we're going to do that next, but I'm going to time lapse it for y'all. Okay, now that you've got it all cut out, all you've got to do is paint. You've got to choose a background color that will show behind your wagon wheel and around your sticker edge. It could be white, it could be black, gray, whatever color you want. But choose a background color that you're going to make the background behind everything here. Make it somewhat neutral. You don't want it to be like a show-stopping color that's going to distract from all of the other designs that you have on here. So now, if you're more advanced and you want to know how to cut something more intricate, now I'm going to show you how to do that using this same design here. So you could actually keep that sticker border if you like, or you could cut around it, but we're going to start by showing you how to cut out the center parts of the spokes. Okay, so I went ahead with my chalk and I identified each of the areas that I want to remove. So all of these, plus maybe a little area like right in here, but you could leave that if you wanted to just paint some background color in there. Now you're gonna need a drill with a drill bit big enough so that it's at least as wide as your jigsaw blade. And so we're gonna just drill a pilot hole in each section. Drill a pilot hole. It really doesn't matter where. I could have put them way out here if I'd wanted to, but I'm just gonna put them here. All right, we'll decide if there are any other areas as we go along. So now that we have our pilot holes, we're going to take our jigsaw blade and we're going to drop it right down into each little pilot hole, and we're just going to cut this section out. Look, and now it's really easy because you can just rotate your door hanger around as needed. And there we have it. We've got that section cut out. All right. So a few things I wanted to point out real quick on this. As you could see, well, you probably couldn't see because it was time-lapsed, I was moving slower on this than I normally would cutting out a door hanger. So anytime you're working with thinner pieces of wood just like this is barely even the width of my finger. Anytime you're working with thinner pieces like this, you need to move slower. This is going to take a ton of time to sand as well, so be careful when you're sanding and don't break anything. And then when you get up to areas like this, see how tight that is? That's barely much wider than the width of my jigsaw blade. I did not go in there, turn around, and come back out. What I did, I went in here, straight ahead, backed up, came forward again, and I chiseled that out with the jigsaw blade. What I mean is by chiseling is I kept going up and hitting it until that area was carved out. I did not go up in there, turn around, and come back. I just carved it out with the front of the jigsaw blade. Then I cut out this area here. Now, if you don't want that sticker border, you can go around with your jigsaw and, of course, just cut out the outside areas just like you normally would. Also, another thing I wanted to point out, when you're doing areas like this that can be very fragile because they're thin, you need to stay as close to your support as possible. So if you noticed, I don't know if you could tell in the video, but every time I was cutting an area like this, I was getting as close as I could to the sawhorse. And I was using the edges of my wood here to kind of support the outer edges because you don't want your wood jumping up and down while you're cutting it. So keep it close to that support. Keep readjusting if you need to keep as close to the support as possible so it doesn't jar your wood and then break a fragile piece. So now we're going to go around the outer edge, which if we had not drawn this sticker border in the beginning, we would just trace around our normal lines. The part where this may be a problem, and I did not realize this when I designed it, so I may have to redesign it a bit, is leaves like this that are so close to not having any support. What I'm going to do is I'm going to modify this leaf here just a bit to where it directly connects to the piece of wood. And I'll do this one the same. I'll modify that one as well so that these kind of become one. And now they're directly connected to the wagon wheel by this one piece here. And so they're not nearly as fragile. And so if you can go through here and look, if there's any more pieces like that, there shouldn't be until you get over here. Now on this side, we could bring this leaf down and make it just a little bigger so that it connects more directly to some of the others. So I'm modifying it with my chalk lines, and when I cut this, since I already cut this out, this may be a bit of a problem. So we may just have to add like a bit of a stem right through here so that this wood stays intact when we come in here and cut this area. You could even bring it out even farther. And then of course just paint this area green. Nobody's even gonna notice. So anytime like you've got an odd area like that or you're not sure if you should cut, you could just leave it and add greenery in behind it, okay? So we're gonna time lapse me cutting out the outer edge to remove this sticker border that we created. Another quick tip I should have pointed out, a lot of you guys complain about having troubles cutting circles. If you noticed, I did that in one solid motion without stopping. And I'm keeping my arm supported and like I'm not at any odd angle. I'm directly over the top of this. And so I hear that some of you guys are going cut, turn, cut, turn, cut, turn. And all of that starting and stopping and turning is going to cause your circle to not be very smooth. So you need to do it in one sweeping motion. Now I did stop here to kind of illustrate this, but you know what I'm saying. Normally, do not stop until you get to the end of your circle. And then of course, any bumpy areas you have, you could sand out. This one's a lot of work, but look how pretty, you guys. Your customers are going to be so impressed if you cut this out. And if you can, I mean, if you look really close, like obviously that spoke's not as like evenly cut as the rest of them. But as you can see right here where we made this little stem a little bigger, not a big deal. Once this is all painted, you're not going to notice those little things. So if you're wanting to cut it to look like this, don't draw your sticker border to start with. I only did that in this tutorial to show how beginners could cut it. So if you're a beginner, this is intended, this like cut out like this is intended to be much, much more advanced. Once you are like super comfortable with the jigsaw, try cutting it like this. But if you're a beginner, draw that sticker border and just paint the backgrounds, okay? Also, designs like this are gorgeous when they're cut on a laser cutting machine. So if you are dreaming of one day getting a laser cutting machine, imagine the things that you could do with it. Okay, so now we've got to sand all of this, okay? And then you could get started painting. Also, the one thing I wanted to say is a design like this, if you are hand cutting all of this and getting all of this cut this intricately, please please charge more for it. You should be charging what it's worth, okay? Now, if you're creating a sticker border around it, and it is taking you longer to paint because it's got more details, I can see charging more for that as well. But a customer's gonna be more willing to pay a higher price for something that looks like it was this much work. And as well they should, because you've put a lot of work into this. It has taken me probably a good 30 or 45 minutes now to do this compared to what I normally could cut in that amount of time. So I hope this has been helpful for you guys. I'm gonna sand it and be done, but I'm not gonna show that part on video, but I do recommend going back if you need sanding tips and watching the original Jigsaw tutorial that we have, but use a mouse sander, something with a pointed edge so that you can get in those nice, neat little grooves. If you also have like a little metal file or a Dremel, getting inside of some of these super tight spots can be hard if you're just using a regular mouse sander. So I would use like a file or a Dremel to get in those areas. But good luck and happy painting. Bye, you guys.